Captain James's heart thundered as he stared into the void, the lifeblood of his weary soul pulsing with defiant hope amidst despair. In the bridge's dim light, the battered eternity shuddered against the silent fury of the cosmos, each scar a testament to survival and sacrifice. His eyes, haunted by memories of lost comrades, fixated on the swirling abyss beyond, a reminder that every moment teetered on the edge between salvation and oblivion. The Eternity, humanity's final beacon, sailed near a dying supernova in the outer rim. Its hull, pockmarked and worn, glowed faintly from the residual heat of cosmic decay, while the corridors inside whispered echoes of battles long past. Every metallic panel and flickering light bore the marks of relentless struggle, a vivid mosaic of courage and sacrifice etched into the very bones of the ship. On the bridge, Captain James stood as both leader and guardian. His dark eyes, deep wells of sorrow and steely resolve, scanned the endless tapestry of space, a chaotic swirl of nebulae, dying stars, and unseen threats. The silence of the void was punctuated by the rhythmic hum of the engines and the soft murmurs of his trusted crew. Johann, ever vigilant, coordinated critical systems with a calm precision that belied the tension in the air. At his side, Walker hunched over a digital star map, charting escape routes and possible ambush points with a strategist's meticulous care. In a cramped yet bustling nook of the command center, David's nimble fingers danced over the ancient controls, coaxing vital systems back to life. His focused expression revealed the burden of keeping humanity's last hope operational, even as outdated technology creaked under the strain of cosmic warfare. Nearby, Ambassador's measured voice carried across the console, a soft yet resolute blend of diplomacy and determination as she intercepted fragmented signals from distant allies. Meanwhile, William manned his station with unwavering resolve, his gaze fixed on the looming threat that crept ever closer, ready to unleash a fury in defense of his comrades. As the Eternity plunged deeper into the void, every sensor blink and every distant explosion underscored the relentless danger that lay ahead. Captain James felt an electric charge of imminent conflict surge through him. The universe outside was a tempest of uncertainty, where every decision could spell salvation or doom. With memories of lost worlds and the relentless hope of survival intermingling in his mind, he steeled himself for the battles to come. Here, in the shadow of a dying star, the final chapter of humanity's struggle was about to be written. A sudden burst of static shattered the fragile silence of the bridge. Amid the endless hum of engines and the dim glow of control panels, a desperate transmission erupted, a cacophonous warning slicing through the night. The crackling voice, raw and trembling with urgency, announced the catastrophic loss of Aurora, a vital human colony swallowed by the overwhelming might of an alien assault. In that charged moment, the weight of impending doom pressed down on every soul aboard the Eternity. Captain James's eyes narrowed as the transmission faded into the echo of static. His heart pounded in tandem with the ship's vibrations, a rhythmic reminder that every second now teetered between hope and oblivion. "Every second counts," he intoned, his voice firm yet heavy with sorrow. The words resonated through the bridge, stirring the seasoned crew into a state of alert resolve. Johann, his brow furrowed with a mix of determination and grief, swiftly brought up the tactical readouts. "Sir, our sensors are picking up enemy formations. Staler's forces are converging faster than we anticipated," he reported, his tone clipped by urgency. Walker leaned over the digital star map, his fingers tracing potential escape vectors and counterattack routes with a precision born from countless battles. "We're caught in a tightening noose," he murmured, his voice low, yet laced with a spark of defiance. In a nearby console, David's hands moved rapidly across the ancient control interface, coaxing faltering systems back to life as alarms blinked like distant beacons of crisis. "The propulsion units are straining under the sudden load," he cautioned, eyes fixed on streams of data. The clatter of keystrokes blended with the somber hum of machinery, a relentless reminder of the stakes at hand. Ambassador's measured voice broke through the mounting tension, her tone carrying both calm resolve and underlying urgency. "I'm opening a secure channel to the alien rebels. They might provide us with a window of negotiation, or at least some insight into Staler's next move," she announced, her diplomatic poise a stark contrast to the chaos unfolding around them. Across the bridge, William maintained his vigil at the weapons systems station, his gaze hardened by the inevitability of battle. "We must be ready to act on my mark. We can't afford indecision," he declared, his voice echoing the collective anxiety of a crew pushed to its limits. In the wake of the transmission, the bridge became a crucible of emotion and strategy. The reality of Aurora's demise, a once thriving outpost now reduced to cosmic rubble, stung like a bitter wind. searing the hearts of every crew member. Yet amid the palpable despair, a fierce determination began to crystallize. The crew's faces, illuminated by the soft glow of monitors and the stark light of distant stars, betrayed the raw intensity of their shared resolve. They were not merely survivors. They were warriors standing on the edge of annihilation, bound together by the duty to protect what remained of humanity. Captain James paced slowly before the central command console, his mind a battlefield of doubts and unwavering commitment. "We have three choices," he said, his voice steady despite the turmoil. "Retreat, negotiate, or fight. I believe retreat isn't an option, not when so many depend on us. Negotiation may buy us time, but we must be prepared to engage if it comes to that." His words, imbued with both caution and courage, set the tone for the critical decision that lay ahead. Each crew member absorbed his declaration, their expressions a mosaic of resolve, fear, and the unyielding will to persevere. As the ship shuddered under the strain of accelerating enemy formations, the call of desperation became a clarion cry for action. In that moment, amidst the charged static and urgent chatter, the Eternity and its crew steeled themselves for the unknown trials of a war that threatened to extinguish the last flickers of human hope. The Eternity's engines roared as they guided the ship toward the ghostly silhouette of the abandoned orbital station. Floating in the vast emptiness, the station loomed like a relic from a bygone era, a decaying fortress of metal and memory. Captain James stood at the viewport, his eyes narrowing at the sight of twisted corridors and shattered panels bathed in the ethereal glow of distant stars. The promise of ancient technology, whispered in fragmented transmissions and half-forgotten legends, pulsed through his veins, a beacon of hope in the darkness. The crew prepared for the descent into the labyrinth. As the shuttle separated from the Eternity, its hull creaked under the strain of space and time, each metallic groan echoing the burden of centuries. Inside, the shuttle's narrow passageways were dimly lit by flickering emergency lamps, casting long, uncertain shadows on walls marred by corrosion and cosmic decay. Every step forward was a cautious venture into a silent tomb, where the air was heavy with the scent of rust and forgotten dreams. David led the technical team, his fingers gliding over an ancient control panel as he coaxed the station's dormant systems to life. "I'm picking up residual power," he murmured, his voice a blend of excitement and apprehension. Sparks danced across his workbench as he connected salvaged wires to deteriorating circuits, each successful flicker of life in the machinery a small victory against oblivion. The rhythmic beeps and soft hum of awakening systems created an eerie symphony, underscoring the gravity of their quest. Ambassador moved with measured grace through the silent corridors, her eyes scanning the faded symbols and cryptic hieroglyphs etched into the walls. In a secluded chamber, she encountered a remnant of the station's former intelligence, a fractured AI core embedded in a pedestal of obsidian metal. "I'm establishing a dialogue," she announced softly into her comm, her tone reverent as she addressed the slumbering intelligence. The AI responded in halting, disjointed phrases, its voice a ghostly echo of a long-lost era. As Ambassador deciphered its cryptic messages, the fragments of history began to coalesce, a narrative of a civilization that once soared among the stars, now reduced to whispers in the dark. The shuttle advanced deeper into the station's heart, where corridors branched into twisting passageways that defied logic and time. Walker took the lead, consulting his handheld star map and schematics scavenged from ancient logs. "This way," he directed, his voice steady despite the disorientation of the labyrinth. Every turn revealed remnants of past lives, a shattered insignia here, a scorched panel there, each artifact a silent testament to battles fought and sacrifices made. The corridors seemed to pulse with the weight of memory, as if the station itself remembered the glory and grief of its former masters. As they navigated the narrow halls, the team encountered unexpected obstacles. Traps, left behind by the station's long-forgotten custodians, activated with sudden ferocity, laser grids sliced through stagnant air, and concealed pressure plates triggered bursts of mechanical force. Jan's voice rang out clear over the comlink. "Stay alert. I'm disarming the next trap." His precise commands were met with swift, practiced movements as the crew worked in tandem to neutralize the hazards. The tension was palpable. Every heartbeat seemed to echo against the cold metal walls, and each shadow held the potential for danger. In one particularly foreboding chamber, the crew found a vast data vault. The walls were adorned with intricate carvings and pulsating lights that hinted at the secrets stored within. Captain James paused before the massive door, its surface scarred by time and conflict. He could almost sense the heartbeat of the station, a rhythmic pulse that spoke of hidden power and untold stories. "We must retrieve the archives," he commanded, his voice resolute. These records might reveal the technology we need to turn the tide. The vault yielded its treasures slowly. Walker and David worked side by side, their efforts a blend of digital wizardry and mechanical ingenuity. As data streams flickered to life on their screens, fragmented images of ancient star charts, schematics of advanced propulsion systems, and encrypted logs of interstellar battles filled the monitors. Each revelation was a step toward reclaiming lost knowledge, a beacon of possibility amid the decay. Outside, the vast emptiness of space pressed in, a silent reminder of the precariousness of their mission. The station, a desolate relic, seemed to whisper secrets of its past with every creak and groan. In the midst of this forgotten sanctuary, the crew of the shuttle found themselves united not only by a common goal but by the shared burden of hope and desperation. Their journey was as much an exploration of their own inner fortitude as it was a quest for technological salvation. As the team gathered the salvaged data and prepared to retreat back to the eternity, the station trembled with the echoes of its storied past. The soft hum of revived systems mingled with the distant echoes of ancient voices, weaving a tapestry of triumph and tragedy. In that haunting moment, amid the relics of a once glorious civilization, the crew understood that every discovery was a double-edged sword, a reminder that progress was born from the ruins of the old. With data secured and hearts emboldened by the promise of hidden power, the shuttle retraced its path through the twisting corridors. The crew's resolve was unyielding, their purpose clear: to unlock the secrets of the orbital station and harness its legacy in the fight against Commander Staler. Each step away from the silent edifice was a promise, a vow that even in the depths of forgotten history, humanity's spirit would endure. The quest had only just begun, and the path ahead was shrouded in mystery. But as they prepared to merge back with the eternity, every crew member felt the stirring of hope, a spark ignited by the promise of new knowledge, a weapon against the relentless darkness that sought to devour them all. Deep within the cavernous data vault of the orbital station, the air grew colder as if saturated with the weight of centuries. The vault's massive door, scarred by time and etched with cryptic symbols, creaked open to reveal a chamber pulsing with dormant energy. Holographic screens and archaic data cores glowed softly in the dim light, casting ghostly shadows on the metal walls. Captain James and his crew gathered in a tight circle, every breath laden with anticipation and trepidation. Here, within this silent repository, lay the secrets of a long-forgotten cosmic conflict. Walker stepped forward, his steady hands dancing over a weathered control panel as he initiated the decryption protocols. "These logs, they're not just records of battles," he murmured, his voice a blend of awe and cautious excitement. The screens flickered, and a cascade of images, fragmented and disjointed, unfurled before them. Encrypted files revealed an ancient feud, a bitter betrayal that had splintered alliances among cosmic powers eons ago. The data spoke of an era when advanced technologies and vengeful ambitions intertwined to reshape the universe's destiny. Johan's eyes widened as he peered over Walker's shoulder, his mind racing with the implications. "Captain, look at this. Commander Staler's vendetta isn't merely about conquest. It's personal, rooted in an age-old betrayal that predates even our oldest legends." His voice, usually so controlled, trembled with the revelation. Ambassador, ever the mediator, interjected softly, "If we can understand the source of his fury, perhaps we can find a way to dismantle his campaign by turning his own history against him." Her words floated like fragile hope in the charged silence. Meanwhile, David meticulously scanned the holographic schematics and ancient star charts that intermingled with the log entries. His fingers traced the faded lines that mapped out a constellation of conflict and ambition. "There," he said, pointing to a diagram of an advanced energy conduit, "this technology could be the key. It appears that the power to manipulate cosmic forces was once wielded by those caught in this feud. If we can harness even a fraction of that, it might tip the scales in our favor." The idea shimmered in the air like a promise, dangerous and alluring. Captain James absorbed every detail, his eyes dark with both determination and sorrow. Each revelation peeled back layers of mystery, exposing a raw narrative of betrayal and vengeance that had fueled Commander Staler's relentless drive. The ancient records painted a portrait of a universe where alliances were shattered and hearts hardened by betrayal, where technology was forged in the crucible of animosity and wielded as both weapon and shield. In hushed tones, the crew debated the implications. Walker's analytical mind pieced together the timeline of the cosmic feud, suggesting that Staler's current crusade was merely the latest chapter in an endless cycle of retribution. Understanding his past might not only expose his vulnerabilities but also reveal a pathway to breaking this cycle, he posited. His words resonated like a solemn oath among the group. The atmosphere in the vault grew heavier with each uncovered secret, the very air seeming to vibrate with the echoes of ancient voices. Every data shard, every holographic relic, was a testament to a time when the universe was a battleground for titanic ambitions. And now, those long-dormant shadows converged upon the present, offering both warning and wisdom. As the crew absorbed the revelations, a palpable sense of destiny wove itself through their collective resolve. They stood on the precipice of knowledge that could reshape their struggle against the encroaching alien threat. In that moment, the data vault became a sacred archive, a bridge between the old wounds of cosmic betrayal and the fragile hope of redemption. The past, with all its scars and secrets, was now a guidepost for the future, urging them to fight not only for survival but for a chance to rewrite the legacy of enmity that spanned the stars. In the aftermath of harrowing discoveries in the data vault, a fragile hope began to kindle in the war room of the eternity. The dim lights flickered across battle-worn faces, each marked by the scars of loss and the burden of duty. Captain James, standing at the helm of the makeshift command center, surveyed his loyal crew, Johann, Walker, David, Ambassador, and William, with a piercing resolve that cut through the despair. His voice, firm and measured, broke the silence. We are not alone in this fight. Our strength lies in unity, in the trust we place in each other, and in those willing to stand with us. Ambassador's hands hovered over the secure communication console, her eyes reflecting both caution and determination. With practiced skill, she initiated a link to an unlikely ally, a faction of alien rebels who had long suffered under Commander Staler's tyranny. Static gave way to a series of terse, coded messages, and soon, a hesitant yet genuine dialogue blossomed on the screen. The rebel leader, known only as Varric, appeared, a gaunt figure with eyes that burned with quiet fury. His voice, resonant with a lifetime of hardship, pledged solidarity. "We share your enemy," Varric intoned, his tone measured. "Our people have endured oppression for far too long. Today, we stand together." In that charged moment, the war room transformed from a space of tactical planning to one of genuine alliance. The crew exchanged glances, a mosaic of relief, cautious optimism, and lingering grief, as they absorbed the reality of this unexpected partnership. Walker, ever the strategist, outlined the implications on a digital star map. His finger traced potential routes and ambush points, merging human ingenuity with alien insights. "Their knowledge of the outer sectors and Staler's patrol patterns can give us a critical edge," he explained, his voice imbued with newfound hope. Outside the reinforced windows, the cosmos stretched vast and mysterious, a silent witness to the fragile accord being forged within these walls. David's eyes flicked from his array of ancient schematics to the dynamic projections of rebel territories. "We have a window of opportunity," he murmured. "If we can integrate our tech with theirs, we could deploy countermeasures that disrupt Staler's communications and supply lines." His words carried the promise of turning the tide, a reminder that the remnants of lost civilizations could be reassembled into instruments of liberation. As the crew absorbed these plans, the atmosphere in the war room grew intimate and resolute. Emotions ran high, mingling with the cold logic of survival. In quiet corners, heartfelt farewells were exchanged over personal messages destined for loved ones far beyond the battlefield. William, usually a pillar of stoic strength, allowed a rare vulnerability to surface. "Every life we save, every enemy we dismantle, is a step toward reclaiming our future," he whispered, his voice barely audible yet laden with conviction. Captain James listened, his heart both heavy and hopeful. "Trust is our most valuable asset," he declared, his gaze sweeping across the determined faces of his comrades. In that moment, unity transcended species and past enmities. The alliance with Varric and his people represented not merely a tactical advantage, but a moral rebirth, a stand against tyranny fueled by shared suffering and the courage to envision a better cosmos. As preparations for the forthcoming confrontation took shape, the crew of the Eternity moved with synchronized purpose. Plans were meticulously drawn, resources pooled, and strategies recalibrated to harness this new bond. Amidst the low hum of equipment and the soft murmurs of resolve, every member of the crew silently vowed that they would not let despair dictate their fate. With the distant rebel voices echoing through the comlink and the universe itself bearing witness, humanity's last fleet prepared to challenge a tyrant determined to rewrite the cosmic order. In that precarious balance of hope and trepidation, the seeds of rebellion were sown, a promise that when hearts and minds unite, even the darkest forces could be overthrown. The cosmos erupted in a fury of light and destruction as the Eternity and its newfound allies plunged into the heart of a celestial maelstrom. In the vast, ink-black expanse of space, Enemy vessels shimmered like ominous specters, streaks of cold, lethal metal against the vibrant nebulae. The silence of the void was shattered by the thunderous roar of energy cannons and the searing trails of missile fire, as if the very stars were caught in the chaos of war. Captain James stood at the bridge, his hands steady on the command console, his eyes reflecting the dazzling interplay of explosions and flares. Every sensor beep and alert was a stark reminder of the stakes, the survival of humanity, the fragile alliance with the alien rebels, and the impending confrontation with the enigmatic Commander Staler. All units, hold formation, and target primary vectors, he bellowed, his voice slicing through the cacophony of battle with unwavering authority. On the other side of the combat spectrum, Commander Staler maneuvered his flagship with a cold, calculating precision. His vessel, a dark monolith bristling with advanced weaponry, cut through the stellar debris as if wading through a silent storm. Through a secure comlink channel, his voice, laced with a chilling blend of contempt and determination, reached Captain James. "Your resistance is futile, Captain. Surrender now, and perhaps mercy will be granted," Staler declared, his tone void of any true emotion, a stark contrast to the raw, fervent spirit emanating from the eternity. The bridge of the eternity became a theater of both strategy and raw emotion. Jan monitored enemy trajectories, his fingers dancing over holographic controls, while Walker recalibrated the ship's defensive maneuvers to counter the unpredictable assaults. David's eyes remained glued to the cascading data streams, urging life into systems strained to their limits, and Ambassador coordinated with Varric's rebel forces, ensuring that every allied unit moved as one. William, ever the steadfast warrior, manned the forward guns with a grim determination, his gaze locked on the approaching enemy fleet. As the battle raged, the Eternity's hull shuddered under the relentless barrage of energy blasts and micrometeoroid impacts. Amid the chaos, Captain James initiated a bold countermeasure, a maneuver born of desperation and ingenious strategy. "Divert all auxiliary power to the forward shields. Prepare to execute a flanking maneuver on my mark," he ordered, his voice steady despite the surge of adrenaline. The command was met with immediate action, each crew member moving with a purpose sharpened by survival. Outside, the battlefield transformed into a dazzling mosaic of light and shadow. The Allied ships, coordinated with precise timing, executed intricate patterns of attack and evasion. Alien and human vessels danced around each other in a deadly ballet, a spectacle of explosive brilliance, where every spark of energy told a story of sacrifice and defiance. The void trembled with the echoes of clashing titans, and the very fabric of space seemed to warp under the immense force of converging destinies. In a critical moment, as the Eternity veered into the enemy's flank, Captain James activated the ship's secret weapon, a relic of advanced technology salvaged from ancient archives. A blinding beam of concentrated energy surged from the vessel, cleaving through Staler's formation and sending shockwaves rippling through the void. The impact illuminated the battlefield in a surreal burst of spectral light, casting both friend and foe in stark relief against the backdrop of a dying star. For a fleeting heartbeat, time seemed to hold its breath. In that suspended moment, the comlink crackled with the tension of a final standoff. "This ends now, Staler," Captain James said, his tone resolute and laden with the weight of countless lives. "We will not cede our future to tyranny." In response, Staler's voice emerged once more, cold and implacable. "Then you will face the consequences of defiance." As the battle reached its zenith, the collision of stars and wills became a testament to the enduring spirit of those who fought for hope in the darkness. Amid the roar of combat and the blaze of cosmic fury, the Eternity and its allies pressed forward, carving a path through the tempest with the unwavering conviction that even in the face of annihilation, humanity's resolve could ignite a new dawn. The cosmic roar had subsided, leaving behind a profound, haunting silence that enveloped the battered remnants of the fleet. In the aftermath of the titanic battle, the Eternity drifted through the void like a wounded leviathan, its scarred hull bearing the testimony of valor and loss. Smoke and debris mingled with the starlight, and the once fiery battlefield now lay quiet, a solemn monument to the sacrifices made. On the bridge, subdued voices and the soft hum of emergency power filled the air. Captain James stood before a panoramic viewport, watching distant explosions fade into the darkness as if time itself was mourning the fallen. Each lost life echoed in the silence, a quiet dirge resonating deep within him. He closed his eyes, recalling the fierce determination in William's gaze, the unwavering loyalty in Johan's steady hands, and the brilliant mind of Walker as he plotted the course through chaos. Their sacrifices, etched in the ship's every creak and groan, were indelible marks of humanity's relentless fight against despair. In the quiet corridors, the surviving crew members gathered in small clusters. They shared hushed words of remembrance, each memory a spark of light amid the shadows of grief. David sat at a console, his fingers lingering on faded schematics, each line a reminder of innovative triumphs that had come at a dear cost. Ambassador, her voice soft yet resolute, comforted those grappling with the heavy weight of loss, speaking of honor and the promise that every sacrifice was a stepping stone toward a brighter future. The mood was bittersweet, a tapestry woven with threads of sorrow and hope. Amid the wreckage, signs of renewal began to emerge. The rebel allies, who had fought valiantly alongside the humans, tended to the wounded and salvaged what they could from the remnants of the shattered enemy. Their gestures, though small, carried the promise of rebuilding and the notion that unity could transcend even the deepest wounds. Outside, the celestial vista stretched infinitely, indifferent yet majestic. Nebulae shimmered in hues of violet and indigo, a silent reminder that beauty can arise from even the darkest cataclysms. Amidst this cosmic panorama, the Eternity's crew silently vowed to honor those who had perished. They gathered for a memorial in the ship's central atrium, where a holographic tribute flickered to life, faces of fallen comrades, their names inscribed in a timeless ledger of sacrifice. Captain James addressed them in a voice heavy with emotion. Every life lost is a beacon of courage. We carry their legacy in every decision, every step forward. Let their sacrifice light our path as we rebuild. In that intimate moment of collective mourning, the ship itself seemed to breathe a quiet exhalation of resolve. The echoes of sacrifice reverberated through every metal corridor, a reminder that while the battle had taken its toll, it had also sown the seeds of hope. The crew understood that rebuilding would be arduous, but the memory of their fallen kin imbued each heartbeat with renewed determination. As the Eternity set a tentative course away from the battlefield, the silence was no longer just an absence of sound. It was a sacred space where the souls of the departed whispered their final farewell, urging the living to forge ahead. In the quiet aftermath of war, every tear shed, every whispered memory, and every solemn vow became a tribute to the indomitable spirit of those who dared to fight for a future reborn from the echoes of sacrifice. In the wake of relentless conflict, the cosmos exhaled a quiet promise as the battered Eternity sailed into uncharted space. The lingering scars of battle, etched across its hull like proud badges of sacrifice, shimmered under the glow of distant starlight. On the observation deck, the crew gathered in solemn unity, their faces illuminated by the gentle radiance of a newborn nebula. Captain James stood at the forefront, his eyes fixed on the horizon where the void and hope converged, each star a beacon of a future yet unwritten. The silence of space now sang a different tune, one of rebirth and renewal. Amid the calm, Ambassador's steady hands navigated delicate communications with allied factions, weaving a tapestry of new partnerships that bridged old enmities. Walker recalibrated navigational charts, mapping courses towards safe havens and fertile worlds ripe for rebuilding. In a nearby compartment, David's meticulous repairs resurrected systems thought long dead, infusing the Eternity with fresh life and purpose. Johan, ever vigilant, ensured that the ship's critical functions operated in unison, while William trained the next generation of warriors, instilling in them the hard-earned wisdom of survival. Captain James, burdened by memories of loss yet fueled by a resilient hope, addressed his crew in a voice that resonated like a clarion call. We have endured darkness, and now we steer toward the light of a new era. Every scar is a reminder of our past, every repaired system a testament to our future. We are the architects of tomorrow. His words, rich with emotion and resolve, echoed throughout the ship, binding each soul with the unspoken promise of renewal. Outside, the vast expanse of space unfolded in a mesmerizing panorama, an endless canvas where the brilliance of countless stars promised endless possibilities. The Eternity, a solitary sentinel amidst the cosmic night, moved steadily forward as if guided by the collective heartbeat of all who dared to dream. In that moment, every crew member felt the stirring of destiny, a commitment to rebuild what was lost and to forge alliances that transcended the boundaries of species and history. As the ship sailed further into the embrace of an uncertain yet hopeful future, the crew's spirits soared with the realization that they were not merely survivors, but pioneers of a reborn humanity. Each passing light year whispered tales of new beginnings, urging them to leave behind the ghosts of past battles and to embrace the promise of a dawn that glowed brighter than any star. The horizon of the cosmos beckoned, a silent vow that in the vast, ever-changing tapestry of the universe, hope, unity, and perseverance would forever guide the way forward.